and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today, we want to talk to you about what we now talk about as our dog listening movement. Now, what do I mean by movement? It sounds all very grand. And what I just mean by that is that we want to share dog listening with the world, and we want to bring you along with us. We want to have as many people as we can living with their dogs using dog listening. So, in case you haven't watched any of our other YouTube videos and you've got no idea what I'm talking about when I say dog listening, what I mean is a way of communicating with your dog that relies on trust, connection, collaboration, and is a move away from control, coercion, dominance, even training and obedience, actually. It does have its place, but that tends to come after dog listening, once you've got your dog in that lovely, relaxed, connected to you place. Um, so with the movement, Ali, do you want to kick us off and just tell me, what does it look like for you? What's this? What does it even mean for you? What's your vision for dog listening?
Well, I my vision is to increase the amount of people who can be a voice for the dogs. And what I mean by that is that, dogs can be one of the most disrespected animals on this planet. We don't put cats back into rescue or put them down if they scratch us.
You
But
don't?
if dogs do anything like that, we tend to be, we hold them to different standards. I think we hold dogs to different standards to any other animal actually on the planet, and so that's my goal, is to increase the amount of people who can be the voice for dogs, because these animals are intelligent, emotional beings, and if we can just, so many people have them in their lives. Many people understand them. Many people don't. So it's about that. It's about widening the reach of this language that we can all learn, that will improve our dogs' lives and then subsequently ours.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And I mean, mine is very similar, which is probably why we've come together to, um, create our school, because we see that that will reach more and more people. Um, and it's just like, I just feel like for the last 20 years, um, there has been a growing swell of people that are becoming, they're already disengaged. They're not interested in shock collars and halties and, muzzles and controlling their dog. They're just not interested in that side of things, because they can see that the dog is just misunderstood. They can see that the dog's behavior is just, um, like, they're just not being naughty. They're not doing it to annoy us. It might annoy us. It might be annoying. I totally get that. But the dog is not doing it for that reason. They're doing it because they're confused in our world. And they're dogs. They're not humans, they're dogs. And that's different. And like you said, where we with cats, a cat brings in a dead mouse, we don't go, ah, oh my God, what are we going to do? Call a behaviorist. The dog's aggressive. I mean, the cat's aggressive. Like, we just don't do that. So I think the more and more people that we can share this with, and the more people that can jump on board and become part of this dog listening movement, um, the better a place it will be. It will be for our dogs. Um, I'd love to know, Ali, like, how have you done that over the last few years? Like, what have you done already? Because this is something that is already in play. We're just hoping to, you know, push the wave up. Is that the right
Yeah,
word? No, bring us
yeah.
along and the wave will go itself.
No, you're right. There's a number of different threads these days to people, how people practice dog listening and how they, teach it in their own way. For me, it started, um, I was volunteering with rescue boxers because I had uh, an old rescue boxer, 10 years old, and I started to work with his rescue organisation as they got to know me, they got to trust me. He had some challenges, and so the trust came from them seeing me working with him, and then also with Ludo's rescue organisation as well, and I just started to make some traction. The advice that I was able to give to people was successful, and it allowed more of those rescued boxers to stay in their homes rather than be given back into the organisation, back into kennels. And what people started to see with me was that dog listening was the one approach that could be used with the most sensitive, the most abused, the most traumatized dog. So it really does stand, it it deals with the dog, and that's what allows it to be so useful in the rescue arena. Because many of those dogs are in rescue because of issues that they've had in their past. So that's kind of how I started making a bit of traction, but I still found that I was a small noise in a world of lots of louder noises that I didn't necessarily agree with. So it was still quite frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that you also practice and teach Reiki, which I think, well, I've been on one of your courses a few years ago, and there's definitely, would you agree, a real connection. So if you've not heard of dog listening and you're not really sure, but you have heard of Reiki, then the two align beautifully, would you
Oh,
say?
they marry together so nicely because it's all about species respect, you know.
Yeah.
And Reiki will always be Reiki, but the approach that we can take when we're offering Reiki to animals marries really beautifully with dog listening. It's very, very respectful to the species that we're working with, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and
there's something you said.
calm, and all about the same kind of things that we talk about with dog listening: calm, connection, communication. Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
there was something you said earlier, and it got me to mind about you were talking about the dogs and how this method, this movement is going to help more and more dogs. Because in rescue, like what you've seen is that it works with every single dog. Now, it might not work for every single owner, and that's okay. That's where we have to understand our limitations. However, um, we firmly believe that it works for every single dog because it's their language, and because it's understanding them. We're not trying to control them or dominate them or coerce them or anything like that. And so that's where this movement can really come into its own, do you
Mm,
know?
yeah.
And as well as the school, I've written a book which is it's called Barking Mad to Calm and Quiet Beyond Dog Training, because it's about the dog, and it's about the dog's needs in conjunction with the owner and the owner's needs as well. That we need to find that point of connection. That's where the real magic lies, when we can get there. And then you and I and our colleague Kate came together and realized that, wow, if we can teach more people to essentially do our job and do what we do in maybe the ways that we do it, we've got the book, you do it through Reiki, we've got, online courses. the world literally is your oyster. There's so many ways that this can be delivered to dog owners to help the dogs. And so the school is really like it's like a culmination of kind of 20 years of looking at the dog's best interests, constantly looking at the dog's best interest and how best can we serve these dogs.
Mm.
And the school is where we can best serve these dogs by helping more and more people to come on board, like come with us, like let's do this. Let's really start to make a difference. Let's really start to make an impact.
Wow.
Um,
And isn't it amazing how technology has really enabled us? You know, we used to, when we all started, we were visiting people in their homes, as you would expect. And, you know, seeing people individually like that. And that would take probably hours each consultation, wouldn't it? And
yeah.
then, you know, we were enabled by technology. And it became a bit of a no-brainer, like why, almost like why haven't we done this before? Well, the reason was technology, but because we're not talking to the dog, we're not teaching the dog, we're teaching a language to the people, which is such a lovely thing to do. And so it just works so amazingly online, and suddenly, like you say, the world's our oyster. Literally it is. You know, we can work with individually in our individual businesses. We can work anywhere in the world as long as somebody's got a Wi-Fi connection. And
Yeah.
then, you know, and obviously the same for our students. We've had a student from Australia, America, Europe, Middle East, haven't we? Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
wonderful.
And, as examples of people that we've worked with and that we are, connected with. We have a lovely lady who works with greyhounds in greyhound rescue, and having done the course and now become certified, she is able to go out into that same community that she was in before with new information. Like, look, guys, this really works. This is going to really help you. This is going to make your life easier. You're not going to have to do anything that harms your dog. You're not going to have to control your dog. Like, here, let's see what we can do. And yeah, for us, it's beautiful to watch that process. And our colleague Kate, who you will have seen on some of these YouTube videos, I'm sure, she started off, she was a school teacher, and now she's got a dog walking business with 3 or 4 people working for her, and they all work with dog listening as part of their world. So they're not actually teaching it, but it's helping the dog. Every dog that they take out, it helps more and more dogs, and it can just grow and grow and grow. And Bianca, another one of our colleagues, who is part of our Karma Canine Cooperative, she is a dog groomer, and so she brings dog listening to that world and reaches the dogs in that way. And it's just so exciting
We've
to
also
know.
got Colum, one of our colleagues. He was taking dog listening into schools. Now that is aspirational. I think if we could, that's one of my goals, is to start this education earlier. Because one of the things about dog listening is it keeps us really safe because of this element of really understanding the dog as a species, the canine species. It keeps us really safe.
Yeah,
And if we could teach that in schools, we would have, so many less incidents with dogs.
yeah,
Our other colleague, Saskia, she's a vet
yeah,
and uses dog listening with her veterinary clients,
yeah, yeah.
humans and dogs. Yeah,
It's
yeah. So we're
amazing.
we're getting we're getting out there. The movement is growing. The
It is.
strands are developing.
It is growing. It really is growing. It is a movement already and it's growing. And I think if you are watching this and you really feel drawn towards it, then we have regular intakes into our school if that feels like something you want to do. We also have a quiz that we can put underneath this that you can do, which will just help you to really know if it's the right thing for you. I mean, I think you will know, but maybe you're not in a place in your life where you're trusting your intuition as much as you could be, and that will the quiz will really help with that, because that is part of the journey, is coming back to ourselves and really trusting ourselves and trusting our dogs that they know what's best for them when we can step back and step away and really, really understand them. So yeah, um, subscribe, like, do the quiz, have a look at the course on our website. There's lots and lots of ways you can come on board. And if this is something that has resonated with you, we would love to have you on board. Thank you. Thanks, Ali.
Thanks, Julie.